Learn English with simple yet effective English podcast and practice with PDFs in each lesson.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast, the place where we help you improve your English in a fun and natural way. I'm Jason, your host, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Julia.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here again. And today we have a really exciting and important topic, something that could completely change the way you learn English.
That's right. Today we're talking about how your mind is the key to fluency. Many people think fluency comes only from studying grammar or memorizing vocabulary. But in reality, your mindset is the most powerful tool in learning English.
Absolutely. If you have the right mindset, you can learn faster, speak with confidence, and actually enjoy the process. But if you have doubts or fears, they can slow you down. So today, we're going to show you how to unlock your fluency by changing the way you think.
And here's a question for our listeners. Have you ever felt too nervous to speak English, even when you knew the words? If so, don't worry, you're not alone. We'll talk about why this happens and how you can break free from this fear. By the end of this episode, you'll have practical tools to train your mind for fluency, build confidence, and start speaking English without hesitation.
Sounds exciting, right? So grab your coffee, relax, and let's dive into this powerful topic, because your mind is truly the key to fluency.
So, Julia, let's start with the big question. Why is mindset so important in learning English?
Great question, Jason. The truth is, learning English isn't just about memorizing words or studying grammar. It's about how you think about learning. Your mindset controls your motivation, confidence, and ability to improve.
That makes sense. I've noticed that some people learn English quickly, while others struggle for years. And often, the difference isn't intelligence, it's how they approach learning.
Exactly. And that's because there are two types of mindsets when it comes to learning a language. A fixed mindset, a growth mindset.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Can you explain the difference?
Of course. If you have a fixed mindset, you believe that your abilities are limited. You might think, I'm just not good at languages. I'll never be fluent.
Right. I've heard so many people say, I'll never speak English like a native speaker. And they give up before they even start.
Exactly. But on the other hand, a growth mindset means you believe you can improve with practice. Instead of saying, I'm bad at English, you say, I'm still learning and I can get better. It's all about believing in progress, not perfection.
Wow, that's such a powerful shift. So instead of being afraid of making mistakes, people with a growth mindset see mistakes as part of the learning process.
Yes. Mistakes are actually a good thing because they mean you're trying. Think about how babies learn to walk. They fall down hundreds of times, but they never stop trying.
Learning English is the same. If you keep going, you'll improve. So, Julia, what are some common mental barriers that stop people from improving their English?
Good question. Some of the biggest barriers are fear of making mistakes. People don't want to sound silly, so they avoid speaking. Lack of confidence. They think they're not good enough to have a conversation. Negative self-talk. Saying things like, I'll never be fluent makes learning harder. Impatience. Wanting to be fluent overnight instead of enjoying the process.
I love that list. And I think most English learners have felt at least one of these barriers.
Yes, and that's what we'll talk about next. If fear is holding you back from speaking English, we're going to show you how to overcome that fear and start speaking with confidence.
So, Julia, one of the biggest challenges English learners face is the fear of speaking. Even when they know words and grammar, they still feel nervous. Why does this happen?
That's a great question, Jason. This fear usually comes from three main things. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of being judged by others, a lack of confidence in their ability to speak.
Yeah, I've met so many learners who say, I understand English, but I just can't speak it. It's like they feel stuck when they try to talk.
Exactly. and this fear can block fluency. The brain focuses on avoiding mistakes instead of communicating naturally. But here's the good news. You can train your mind to overcome this fear.
That sounds great. So, Julia, what's the first step to overcoming the fear of speaking?
The first step is to change your perspective on mistakes. Many learners think, if I make a mistake, people will laugh at me. But in reality, mistakes are part of learning. Every fluent English speaker once made the same mistakes.
That's true. No one is perfect from the beginning. Even native speakers make mistakes.
Exactly. So instead of feeling embarrassed, learners should see mistakes as stepping stones to improvement.
That makes so much sense.
And here's a trick. Whenever you make a mistake, repeat the correct version out loud. This way, your brain learns and improves.
That's a great idea. Okay, what about the fear of being judged? How can learners stop worrying about what others think?
This is a big one. The truth is, most people don't care if you make mistakes. They just want to understand you. And if you're speaking with other English learners, they're probably feeling the same way.
And actually, most people respect someone who is learning a new language. They don't laugh. They're impressed that you're trying.
Exactly. So here's a challenge for our listeners. Next time you feel nervous, smile and speak anyway. Even if you're not confident, just act confident. And your confidence will grow.
Ooh, I love that challenge. Fake it till you make it, right?
Yes. And the more you do it, the less fear you'll feel.
All right, Julia. What about people who just don't feel ready to speak? How can they start practicing?
Great question. Here are 3 simple ways to start speaking without fear. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing or thinking. No pressure, just practice. Record your voice, listen, and improve little by little. Find a speaking partner. It can be a friend, a tutor, or even a language app. And the best app that you can use is LingQ. If you want to check it out, link is in the description.
Those are awesome tips. And I'd add one more. Join English-speaking communities online. There are so many people who want to practice just like you.
Yes, the key is to start small, but start now.
So true. So, to all our listeners, don't wait until you feel perfect. Start speaking today. You'll be amazed at how quickly your confidence grows. All right. So, we've talked about overcoming the fear of speaking. But there's another key factor that can really boost fluency, and that's the power of positive thinking.
Yes, your thoughts shape your reality. If you believe you can't learn English, you'll struggle. But if you believe you can, your brain will actually help you improve.
That's really interesting. But how exactly does positive thinking affect learning?
Well, studies show that when you think positively, your brain releases chemicals that help you. Focus, remember. Stay motivated. But if you're always thinking, I'll never be fluent, your brain gets stressed. And stress blocks learning.
That makes so much sense. I've met learners who are always nervous, and they seem stuck. But the ones who are excited and believe in themselves improve much faster.
Exactly. That's because your brain follows your beliefs. If you tell yourself, I'm learning and getting better every day, your brain will actually make that happen.
Wow. So, what are some ways English learners can start using positive thinking to learn faster?
Great question. Here are 3 powerful techniques. 1. Use positive affirmations. Say things like, I am improving every day. I can speak English with confidence. Repeat them daily. 2. Celebrate small wins. Instead of focusing on what you don't know, focus on what you can do. Maybe today you learned a new phrase. That's progress. 3. Visualize success. Imagine yourself having a smooth conversation in English. Your brain will start believing it's possible.
I love that. And honestly, I think the second point is super important. Too many learners only focus on what they don't know instead of celebrating what they do know.
Exactly. Learning English is a journey. If you only look at how far you have to go, you'll feel discouraged. But if you look at how far you've come, you'll feel motivated.
That's a great mindset shift. So, Julia, how can someone turn negative thoughts into positive ones?
Great question. Here's a simple trick. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, reframe it into something positive. I always make mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. My English is bad. My English is improving every day. I'll never be fluent. Fluency is a process, and I'm on my way.
Wow, that's such a powerful shift.
Yes, it's all about retraining your mind to focus on progress instead of problems. And the more you practice positive thinking, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
So, to everyone listening, start speaking to yourself positively. Your words have power. If you tell yourself, I can do it, you will. Now, Julia, we've talked about positive thinking, but let's go even deeper. There's a technique that top athletes, performers, and even language learners use to improve faster. Visualization and mental practice.
And that powerful technique is visualization. But before we get into it, if you are enjoying and learning, please do like and subscribe and leave your ideas in the comment about the podcast. Visualization is a powerful tool. It's like practicing English in your mind before you actually speak. Studies show that imagining yourself speaking fluently can train your brain almost as well as real practice.
Wow! So you're saying just imagining yourself speaking English can actually make you a better speaker?
Exactly. Your brain doesn't fully know the difference between real experiences and vivid imagination. That's why athletes visualize winning before a game. It prepares their mind for success.
That's fascinating. So how can English learners use visualization to improve fluency?
There are 3 simple ways to do this. 1. Imagine a conversation. Close your eyes and picture yourself talking with someone in English. Imagine speaking clearly and confidently. 2. Practice situations mentally. If you're nervous about an upcoming situation like ordering food, a job interview, talking to a native speaker, rehearse it in your mind first. 3. Visualize success. Picture yourself speaking fluently with people understanding and responding to you. This builds confidence.
I love that. And you know what? I think the second tip is especially useful. If you mentally practice a situation before it happens, you'll feel much more comfortable when it's real. What a fantastic conversation, Julia. I hope our listeners feel inspired and ready to take action on their English learning journey. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this podcast with a friend who is also learning English.
And if you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss a new podcast. That's right. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. And remember, your mind is the key to fluency.
Let's grow together and support each other on this journey. See you in the next episode.